All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while since we've done a live stream together, so it's good to be back. International break hasn't really allowed for a lot of live stream interactions, to be honest. The news has been bits and pieces here and there, but it's been an interesting time to ponder about many other things. So, which has been good. Obviously, you guys would have been in touch with all the different videos that I've been uploading during this international break. So, yeah, hope you guys have been enjoying. Today, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we're back doing live stream, and from here on, I think it should be fine because the international scene is now well and truly over, and now the club scene will start, and there is a lot of interesting fixtures for Chelsea Football Club coming up, and we are living in very, very interesting and very tumultuous times as well. So I'll see how you guys are feeling about it. Today we want to talk about Asmir Begovic's rant via the Byline. Alex Goldberg's Byline is very close mates with Asmir Begovic, and generally Asmir Begovic is quite calm and collected, and he doesn't really say, he says a lot of things, but it's not like he comes out in an outburst. But he's actually done this on the latest The Byline episode, and there's a clip that's floating around that everyone wants a reaction to. I know you guys wanted a reaction as well. I definitely want to give my opinion, and I want to see how you guys feel about it as well, because it's not a one-way street. I definitely want to pluck out as many comments as I can to see how you guys are feeling. Big up to each and every one of you guys. Prince, nice. I was hoping you would react to his comment. Intrigued about your opinion on this. Yeah, look, I'm going to obviously elaborate on it. We're going to watch the particular rant as well together. And yeah, I've got a mixed view on it. I do have a mixed view on it. But big up to each and every one of you guys. Big up to Shivendra. Good to see you, my man. Big up, MIZ. Hope you're doing well. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing good. Hopefully you're doing well as well, my brother. And hopefully each and every one of you guys are doing well. Francis, good to see you, my man. Prince, good to see you. Chelsea Till I Die, good to see you. In Life No Limits, good to see you. Pepita, my man, is in the house. Good to see you. Mixter, Jeff Knightley, Eddie, Billy, Mark, Slice, Imminent Die. Good to see each and every one of you guys, man. Honestly, it's great to have you all on the channel. Smash the like button, number one. We've got well over 130 people live already. Smash the like button. Let's take a moment right away. Let's pump the likes up. Really make this live stream a very, very entertaining one, filled with a lot of likes. So smash the like button straight away. We've got, as I said, nearly 130 live now. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. Let's reach that 29,000. I think we're about 300 away, I think, from 29,000. So let's do that. Adnan, big up to you. Ammo, JJ, King Mo, Damilola, Capo, Daniel, Arthur, big up to each and every one of you guys, man. Eric, Delmova, good to see you all. Okay, let's get this show rock and rolling. Some of you guys might have seen this particular clip on Twitter or X, and some of you guys might be seeing it for the first time. So let's check out this particular video together, and then let's react to it. Yeah. So this is what Alex tweeted out. This is not Chelsea Football Club. Asmir Begovic rants about the current state of Chelsea. He does not bite his tongue. So let's have a look, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I actually, sometimes I forget to share the audio. Yep, also share the audio. Yep, beautiful. All right, so let's bring that out. Let's get that up over here. Okay. All right, let's get rock and rolling.
But I honestly, in the last 12 months, what has happened with Chelsea Football Club? It just beggars all belief. But I honestly, in the last 12 months, what has happened with Chelsea Football Club? It just beggars all belief. I mean, the squad of players at Pochettino's disposal, and the amount of money spent, is 12th in the league. It's 12th. It's mid-table. it is richly mid-table. I mean, if they were any higher, he would be working miracles. You have a bit of luck with Nkunku. I get it. He's a top player. Cole Palmer has only just come in. But what is going on? I mean, what is going on with the recruitment of these players? Why is Chelsea Football Club rebuilding? Why is Chelsea Football Club in a transition? This is one of the best. I mean, I've been there. I was proud to have been there. It's one of the best locations to play football in the world. What is going on with this, with everything at this football club? It's like, I remember being with players in dressing room, like world class, buying from Barcelona, buying from Real Madrid, buying from Bayern Munich. It's like buying from Brighton and potential players. And I get you need a part of that, but where is like the top world-class players at Chelsea? I mean, Chelsea fans expect the best, expect to be challenging for trophies. I don't see Man City rebuilding. I mean, when I was there, Alex, we've talked about this before, I mean, Chelsea was the standard. It was from top to bottom. I mean, Roman had Marina. This was the standard. I mean, the first team squad was a joke. I mean, the players, the standard of players was unbelievable. Then the 23s development squad, when they used to come train with, I mean, some of those players, what they've become now was unbelievable. And then not to mention the academy below that. But what is going on? I think we can talk about an attacking or not attacking. These players at this disposal, it's a mid-table squad. I mean, this is not Chelsea Football Club. I don't understand. I just don't see Man City rebuilding. Even if like they're rebuilding, they're like 5th, 6th at worst, which is that's not even good enough, nowhere near. But I mean, I'm lost for words, really. I have no idea what's happened in the last 12 months. It feels like it's all a bit of a blur. And yeah, that's just my opinion. There's my rant. So I mean, for the football club that I know and what it should be, with the fan base, with the stadium, with Central London, I mean, this is a world-class organization, but has been anything but for the last 12 months. So it's not the Chelsea I remember, that's for sure.
All right. It's not the Chelsea I remember. This is very reminiscent to what Didier Drogba said last season as well. It's a Chelsea I don't reckon. This is not the Chelsea I recognize, something or other. I think that's what Didier Drogba said. I think Cesc Fabregas said something as well, sort of similar in the mold as to what these people have been saying. Look, there are certain things that Asmir Begovic has said is probably right, but there's a lot of things, and here's my opinion on it, and I want to see what you guys have to say about this. There's a lot of things I don't think he's really assessed it properly, and I think he's just been a little bit emotional, and probably there's been things that's been sort of staying deep within him, and he's found an opportunity to make an outburst and make a rant about it. Look, there's no doubt we've been acting and we've been performing. All right. I'm not saying our squad is mid-table, but we've been performing and acting as if we're a mid-table team. Now, to go back to what Asmir Begovic said, back in his time, of course, back in his time, there were legends. Do you know what I mean? If you look at when was the last time we won the Premier League? Antonio Conte, right? 16-17. It's been almost 6-7 years since we last won the Premier League. And do you know what? Since then, we've not competed. So taking aside the new ownership situation that happened last season, which obviously caused a lot of issue, and we're gonna get to that, but park that for a moment. The decline has, in my opinion, started from Roman era anyway. The decline of our competitiveness has started during that time frame. Roman, Marina, Bruce Buck, and the lot. And to sit here now and say, maybe it's all the new ownership, this, that, the other, I don't think that's probably being a bit disingenuous. During that time frame, since Antonio Conte won that last Premier League for us, it's not like we've not bought quality players. We've bought really, really good players. Since Conte, we won the Premier League with under Conte. We've bought some big time players. We had the transfer ban. I think the transfer ban was the shift, in my opinion. I feel like that was, yes, we made it to Champions League under Frank Lampard that first season, but I feel like that was the shift in the fan base, where this whole notion about falling in love with academy players and dying for academy players by hook or crook kind of shifted the mentality of the fan base that, oh, do we really need to purchase that player? Do we really need to purchase this player? We've got XYZ in the academy. But having even said that, when Frank Lampard was sacked and Roman and everyone else were ruthless about that situation, we brought in Thomas Tuchel, and Thomas Tuchel won the Champions League. So it's not that, we've just disintegrated in recent times. Do you know what I mean? We've not that long ago we were Champions League winners, right? And we won the Club World Cup. And as I said, I am going to get to the new ownership very soon. But I think in terms of the Premier League, we've not competed for a little while. So for Asmir Begovic to come out and say that, this is something unheard of, we've never seen this before, that's not true. That's not true. It was on the decline for a little while. Now, the new ownership has come in. And we've all had our opinions about it. We've all given our 2 cents regarding the matter. In my personal opinion, the new owners have come in, and I feel like you should have waited to get rid of everyone. The way the new owners came in and just pretty much chopped up everything, got rid of Marina, got rid of Peter Cech, got rid of everyone, even the canteen lady, do you know what I mean? Medical staff, the kit people, everyone. I think that was probably a bit drastic. I feel like that was probably a bit drastic. And that probably unsettled a lot of people within the club. And the way they came in and the way they wanted to operate the football club, in the likes of wanted Thomas Tuchel to take charge of every matter, not just the training sessions, but the transfer window, this, that, the other. I think that was the wrong way to kick things off. Getting rid of Thomas Tuchel was very premature, very, very premature. And when you look at the entire last season, it was a wasteful last season. We did not achieve anything. We did not develop any players. We did not achieve anything at all. And some of the players that we got last summer, we're now looking to get rid of. Either we've already gotten rid of them in the likes of Koulibaly, or we're looking to get rid of them in the future in the likes of Cucurella. But going back to Begovic's point in regards to, but Man City are never in a rebuild. Why is Chelsea in a rebuild? Chelsea, they're a big institution, a huge club, a fantastic location, this, that, the other. Now, we needed the rebuild. We needed the rebuild. As I said, we've tried and tested by buying good players, even during Roman Abramovich's time. But that wasn't coming to any fruition. Yeah, we were winning the odd cups and obviously the Champions League here and there, but we never competed for the Premier League for a little while. And that coincides with Man City, him comparing us to Man City. Man City got Pep Guardiola, man. Man City got Pep Guardiola. And we had Frank Lampard. Yes, then we had Thomas Tuchel, fantastic, but we didn't give him an opportunity to carry on. Then we brought in Graham Potter. We're expecting these level of managers to compete against Pep Guardiola and to compete against Jurgen Klopp, for instance. And these are world-class managers. So, and during that time frame, when the new ownership took over, there were sanctions as well. If you guys, some of you guys will remember, obviously all of us should remember. I don't know whether Begovic remembers that. The sanctions caused a lot of issue. We needed a rebuild. We were forced to have a rebuild. Players like Rudiger, players like Christensen, they probably wouldn't have gone if it wasn't for the sanctions, and we would have been able to give them a contract extension. Then you had players like Kante, who was always injured. Then you had players like Kai Havertz, Christian Pulisic, and many more that just did not perform for Chelsea Football Club. So we needed a rebuild. We just needed a rebuild. Whereas Manchester City, they've been stable. Our biggest issue has been the instability. I know in previous time the instability produced trophies, but you have to remember the instability back then still had the core setup. I remember John Obi Mikel, saying it in his podcast, not his podcast, he goes to a particular podcast a few months ago. He does this podcast with a couple of other people. I remember John Obi Mikel saying the difference back then to now is now there's a complete change in every facet of the football club. As I said, there's different medical staff, there's different kit man, there's different everything, right? Back then, the only thing that was changing is the manager. Everything else was stable. Players stayed, medical staff stayed, the hierarchy stayed, everything was stable. So that's why they were able to pick up the pieces and get going again. We just kept on changing the managers because we felt that our level of squad back then, when the legends were around, we should be winning every single season something, some trophies. Not winning a particular trophy, going trophyless in a season was a madness. But things are different now. Things are different. Everyone under Roman's era, they're gone. It's finished. So the instability that we have now is not just change of managers, it's change of the entire setup of the football club. So I think these are some of the things that Begovic probably hasn't accounted for. But where I do agree with him is when he talks about, being mid-table, operating as like some sort of a mid-table. I do agree with him with that. I don't agree where he's saying that the squad is a mid-table squad. I don't think our squad is mid-table. And I will not sit here, agree with any one of you guys telling me after spending £1 billion that our squad is mid-table. Our squad is not mid-table. Our squad is full of talented players. Now, you can say our squad is inexperienced. You can tell me that. Begovic talks about buying players from Brighton. Caicedo is well touted. Caicedo has been looked, almost every Premier League club has been dying to get Caicedo. Cucurella, when we got him, please, none of you guys even lie about it. We were all excited about Cucurella because of how much, the madness that he did at Brighton. It didn't work out for us. It didn't work out for a lot of players. But I don't think that's purely down to Cucurella. I think it's got to do with, as I said, the instability at our football club and the ever-changing, moving parts in the football club has contributed to that. Everyone failed last season. I don't think we have the right to just pinpoint out Cucurella. I know the level of player that I saw in Cucurella. Brighton are producing some top players. People were talking down on Bissouma. I knew the level of player Spurs were getting. I was annoyed. I wanted Bissouma at Chelsea. I know a lot of you guys wanted Bissouma. Now you're probably going to say, no, I never wanted Bissouma. But look how Bissouma is playing now for Spurs. Yeah, we were buying players from Barcelona before. Yeah, we were buying players from Real Madrid. We were buying players from Bayern Munich. But to talk down on Brighton, Brighton's producing some quality players, man. Brighton are competing in the top half of the Premier League. This is no Mickey Mouse club, man. As much as all the banter and all the disrespect, I suppose, I show sometimes towards Brighton. At the end of the day, I'm not stupid to say that Brighton's a very good team. Very, very good team. Well-operated team. So, yeah, we've got a squad which has got a lot of inexperience in it, no doubts about that. But it's not a bad squad at all. It's a squad that should be producing the bare minimum, which is to make it into Champions League positions for the time being, and you know, down the track we push for it. We needed the rebuild. The one thing that Begovic probably could have talked about is, you know, what has the managers done since they come into Chelsea Football Club? What did they do? Yeah, you look at what Pochettino is doing as well now. The quality of players, the talent that we have. You got Pochettino using Ben Chilwell as left wing. You got Pochettino playing with 5 defenders. Graham Potter, you look at the way he used to set us up. Gallagher. And Gallagher still features under Pochettino. Potter, before Mount was exiled, Mount was playing left, right, and center, regardless of how his performances were. So we can question all of that, and we can question that about the new owners. But I feel like over the next few weeks, we'll get to see exactly where our football club is going. Until the next international break, we'll finally get to see where our football club is going, because I completely feel the owner's intentions and the board's intention is to compete for the highest honors. You know, you don't buy players like Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez and not want to compete. I get that. But at the same time, I get a mixed feeling because we seem to be buying a lot of young players as well. And young players, you know, they will take time because the inexperience is going to show out. So I am getting a bit of a mixed message from our owners and our board. You want to compete for the top honors, but then at the same time, you don't want to buy anyone above the age of 25. So we'll see where this goes. So all in all, I think there are bits and pieces where Begovic is somewhat correct, but then there are bits and pieces where I feel like Begovic is not in tune with the reality of the situation at Chelsea Football Club. Let's see what you guys are saying now. Felix, thank you so much for the super chat. I deeped it, and Frank got top 4 with a lot of kids. It's not too much to ask for Poch to do it. It's the bare minimum expectation, even with rebuild. Yeah, of course, of course. This is why I say I don't think we have a bad squad. We have a very good squad, talented squad. We need a manager that plays to their talent. Like, it's strange. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, it's strange when we see our team play on the field and at times playing in such lethargic, such, you know, disgraceful manner. You think, what's going on? Like, these are talented players that should have a better output. And that's down to Poch. That's down to Poch. You got to work them hard in training. You've got to create chemistry. I get it. You need time, but time is of the essence, mate. Like, time is of the essence. Every other club is running away, man. Look at Liverpool. We thought they were in the mud, and they're slowly in the resurgence. They've revamped their midfield. They probably need to do a little bit more work in defense, but they're on the resurgence again. Arsenal climbing, Man City are never stopping. Spurs look like they're you know, they seem like they have to be taken seriously to a certain degree. And there are other clubs that are trying to, you know, make a statement as well, in the likes of Brighton. So we don't have time. We don't have time. We've got to, whatever we have now, we've got to push and get better. Players need to get serious. You look at the way Noni Madueke is talking about us, right? Noni Madueke is saying that at Chelsea, you know, the expectation's trophies. Yes, yes, the expectation is trophies. So, you know, this is where I'm sometimes thinking, you know, could managers, for example, in the likes of Jose Mourinho, or, you know, I wanted Luis Enrique, for instance. Many of you guys wanted other managers as well. You know, could they come to Chelsea Football Club? Let's say, for example, Ancelotti, right? Could these people come to Chelsea Football Club and change the situation around immediately? I don't know. Maybe they can. Maybe they can. But we'll see where Pochettino takes us. He has to get us back. He has to, or else we're in deep trouble. John, massive changes at Chelsea needs to settle, massive achievements and massive failures. Chelsea going about things in new age. Currently, Chelsea are 12th like last year. The Chelsea managers, squiffy. Fair enough. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Felix, I use Enzo as an example because he's our best talent. He has been our best player, but not the standard we used to have. We have to expect more as fans. Otherwise, we will never win. I absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. Poch is to blame. Who plays Chilwell at left wing? Dumb, really dumb. Yeah, look, we've got wingers. We got wingers, and we're playing him as a left wing. And we're playing with 3 genuine centre backs, even though it is a 4 at the back setup. But we're using Lewa Cole as a left back, who's not really an overlapping left back. He's not really a left back, but you know, he's really played as an LCB, wide LCB. And we should be playing with more attacking players. We should be playing far more attacking football. Noni is another one that's not good enough. Yeah, then these players have to raise their level. All of these players, they talk big, and that's great. You have to have that mentality. You have to have that confidence level, and that's fantastic. But you need to start putting the results. You look at players like Mudryk, Madueke. Do you know what I mean? Like, these players have got to wake up ASAP. But Pochettino needs to facilitate that as well. Poch needs to facilitate that. Poch needs to create an exciting brand of football, man. Go out there and throttle, full-on throttle. Throw the kitchen sink. There are teams that do that. I'm not saying now throw the kitchen sink and just leave yourself exposed at the back. No. Have a structure. Have a structure. You got the players now. We wanted that DM, and we got ourselves that DM in the likes of Caicedo. You got that DM. Don't play with 5 defenders. Play with a genuine 4. Use one less defender and have another midfielder if you want to, you know, make sure that you're not overcooked in midfield. There should be no excuses now. There really should. I know we've got a plethora of injuries. And this is where I guess I somewhat agree with Begovic that we've been acting like a mid-table team. We don't need to do that. We've got players to play good football. We got players to set up in a structure to play attacking football, but at the same time in transition, be resolute. We've got players. I'm sorry, we do. Okay, you can say that maybe our goalkeeper is not at the world-class level. Okay, understood, no problems. But you look at some of our defenders, Levi Colwell, Thiago Silva, Desarci. Well, hopefully we get Badiashile coming back soon. How can we sit here and make excuses? These level of defenders should know how to defend. The manager should be having a plan for this team. You look at some of our midfielders, Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, even Gallagher off the ball has been doing well. You got Leslie Ogochukwu. Up front, we've got Sterling. We got Madueke. We got Mudryk. But we're not entertaining to play with more attackers. We only play with 2 attackers. Nicholas Jackson. We should be on a, and now Cole Palmer as well. Cole Palmer, very, very talented youngster. Slim, Carlo would definitely make a change. He's one of the best managers for a reason. And this is where we can question the ownership and the board. It seems like they went in a direction where they wanted to rebuild a team based on youth, and they wanted a certain type of a manager that can work with youth. They didn't want the Jose's, the Carlo Ancelotti's, the Luis Enrique's. They didn't want that. They didn't want someone who's well established. Not saying that Poch isn't well established. Poch is well established, but I feel like Poch is a level just below them. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see where Poch takes us. Yaya Toure, we need FHT to tell you the truth because you seem delusional to accept it. As much as I love you and appreciate you, Miz, Chelsea squad isn't near top 6. It's like Brighton, Brentford level accepted. No, I'm not going to accept that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Yaya Toure. I'm sorry. If you think after spending 1 billion, and I know there's a lot of players that are injured, but consider them as well because they should come back one day. They're not dead. Players like Nkunku. We don't have a rubbish team. Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo. Come on. Look at the way we were all raving about Levi Colwill. Come on, man. Reece James should be back soon. Like this, I refuse to say this is a bad squad. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. There are teams that have less resources than us, less quality than us, and they're doing better. Why? Look at the way people were talking about Mudryk. What has happened? Did we destroy him? What has happened? Arsenal wanted Mudryk. Mudryk comes to Chelsea and it all crumbles. Why? Look at the way Enzo plays for Argentina. I'm not saying Enzo Fernandez plays bad for us, but there's clearly a lack of chemistry. There's clearly something wrong at Chelsea Football Club. And I don't think it's because of a lack of talent in the squad. It's not true. It just is not true. So a lot of you guys can sit here and keep saying that, this squad is not even good enough for top 6. And that's your opinion, no problems. But it should be good enough for top 6. It should be good enough to compete at a much higher level. And this is where I feel like managers need to take certain responsibilities. You look at some of the manager like Graham Potter last season. Do you know what I mean? Frank Lampard after that. As I keep saying, Pochettino, we'll see how it goes. But we need someone to be serious, really, really serious, and play supreme level of football. You look at Ange Postecoglou. None of you guys knew about Ange Postecoglou. And look at him, the way he's playing at Spurs. Exciting brand of football. Look at the caliber of players they have. Look at the caliber of players we have. Look at the resources they have. Look at the resources we have. Why is Ange sitting after 4 games on top of the table? I get it, early days, but still sitting on top of the table, near to the top of the table, and we're 12th. Why? So some of the things I feel like we are creating our own mess. As I said, 5 defenders. Ben Chilwell, left wing. We're creating our own mess. We are being made to look like we're mid-table. In life, no limits. Miz, I'm with you. This squad is more than capable of top 6. Are we saying player for player, Brighton, West Ham, Spurs, or even Newcastle have a better team than us? Nah, they just don't. I'm sorry. They just don't. They just don't. They probably have more chemistry between the players, but they don't have a better squad. Royston, Miz, why do people rate Mudryk? Is it because we took him away from Arsenal, or is it because they watched him in Ukraine? Look, I don't know. I'm not someone who followed Mudryk that much, or if at all any. But from the bits and pieces that I did see, there definitely is a talent there. There's no doubts that there is a talent there. Now, who can tame that talent? Who can harness that talent? Who can bring some focus in that individual? Arsenal are looking to throw big money for Mudryk as well. So clearly there's something there. I personally think, honestly, I think it was probably politically driven. Because I don't think we were ever looking to get Mudryk. I think the fact that the war with Ukraine and we had a Russian owner previously, this was all to do with, fixing up Chelsea's image. I think so. But putting that aside, this player is not a bad player. It's just he's erratic at the moment. He lacks confidence. But that's on the manager to do his level best to get him back on track. We need to give this guy a chance and exhaust that chance situation, and then we can make a judgment. But of course, the player has to do a lot from his side as well. No doubts about that. The player has to do a lot from his side. It's a talented player. There is talent there. We're not going to forget when he came on against Liverpool and he almost, on his debut, he almost looked like he was going to score the winner as well. And I get it. It was James Milner on that side, but he was looking good. He was looking good. I'm not going to forget Mudryk in the preseason linking up with Nicholas Jackson. We've seen some glimpses. Where you can say, do you know what? He's got it in him. It's a matter of how can you now make that consistent? So that's what it all comes down to. Felix Miz, the reason I brought up the first Lamp season is because Poch is a miles better manager than him. We must this season plus perform even above expectations. We have to prove other teams' fans wrong. You're right. Absolutely right. I'm not going to sit here and degrade our squad. I think it will be shameful. I think it will be disgraceful. All of us were so excited. Now we are pretending like we were not excited during the summer transfer window when we got Nicholas Jackson. And when we saw Nicholas Jackson in the preseason, every single one of you guys were telling me he's the next Didier Drogba. Now all of a sudden, he's not a player. He's not a striker. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Unless you were one of those brothers from the get-go that you thought, nah, Nicholas Jackson's just not it. Now we're sitting here 4 matches and we're all thinking that, nah, do you know what? This guy's not it, Literally 4 weeks ago in the preseason, everyone was drooling over him. He's a talented player. Nicholas Jackson, it's clear to see he's a talented player. We have to do better. We have to compete. We've got to make it to Champions League positions. I'm sorry. If we don't, if Pochettino drops points against Bournemouth, I'll tell you straight up, I'm going to start looking at him in a negative manner. I will 100%. And this is why I keep harping on. The one thing that I can probably talk about the new ownership and the board is their selection of managers. No problems. You want to buy some talented, youthful players. No problems. You want to build a team slowly for the future, but at the same time, you want to compete for the time being as well because you've spent a lot of money. But I will definitely go at them in regards to the management selections, because some of the things are not matching up. You want Chelsea to go back and compete against the biggest teams in Europe. You need to have a serious level of manager, a serious level of manager, a serial winner. Poch has to, for me, 100% has to figure out a way to play good brand of football, to utilize attacking players as much as he can, stay as resolute as possible in defense, create a strong mentality within the squad. Over the next 5 games until the next international break, it has got to be 5 out of 5. We've got Brighton in the Carabao Cup. We cannot get knocked out by Brighton at the Carabao Cup because that will be an utter embarrassment. And we must pick up all 4 games in the Premier League wins. Wins against Bournemouth, win against Aston Villa at home at Stamford Bridge, win against Fulham, and win against Burnley. If Poch does not deliver this, I'm going to be honest with you right up. I'm going to be questioning this guy massively in a negative manner. I'll tell you right now. And I will be questioning the ownership and the board, what they're thinking about bringing these level of managers. Poch is definitely a higher level than Potter and Frank Lampard, no doubts about that. But is Pochettino someone who's going to be able to take us to the top to compete quickly? We cannot endure another season of being 10th or 12th. Sorry, we just can't. We did that last season. We can't do that again. At a bare minimum, he has to get us to a Champions League position. We don't get to Champions League position. A lot of things right on this, man. Financially, sponsorship, Riyadh Air. Riyadh Air is only looking to sponsor us if we get into Champions League. Riyadh Air is not looking to sponsor. Look how difficult it's been to get a sponsor this season because we came 12th last season. Look how difficult it's been now. Imagine not making it to Champions League again. How difficult it is going to be to get a quality sponsorship. And on top of that, that Champions League money, okay, fine. 1 season, we may be able to live with it because we sold a lot of players, pure profit players, but you cannot consistently keep missing out on Champions League. I'm telling you right now, you cannot. Ahmed, for me, this team is capable of top 4. I feel we can do it this season. We must believe even our chance is low. Hope is there, and there is no rock bottom forever. And I absolutely agreed. Haj in the house, Begovic is right. The fact that we have spent 1 billion on potentials and maybes, which is crazy, risky strategy. When you actually deep it, this strategy has never been implemented in any major team sport. Yeah, look, he is right that, yeah, some of the things that our owners and the board saying that we want to compete at the highest level, but then bringing in inexperience and not bringing in experienced players, that doesn't mash up. But even with the squad that we have, we should be able to get the bare minimum, which is Champions League football. Would you guys agree? Would you guys? Let me just put up a poll. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we've got nearly 400 people live right now. Smash the like button. I'm going to put up a poll. See what you guys are thinking about this. Is the current Chelsea squad enough for Champions League? All right, I've just put up the poll. I want to see what you guys say about this, because this is what it all comes down to, right? Some of you guys believe that the squad's not good enough for a Champions League spot. Some of you guys believe that it is good enough at a bare minimum to make the Champions League squad. And that's all it comes down to. That's all it comes down to, right? The manager has got, like, Pochettino has nothing to complain about. I'll tell you right now. There seems like there's ample resources at Chelsea Football Club. Ample resources. We got the money. We got the training facilities. We got it all. We got the large fan base. Our stadium's full. Merchandise selling. Great location in London. We got it all. He's got nothing to complain about. Poch has got nothing to complain about. He's got a plethora of talented players. You literally have nothing to complain about. But if you set up against Bournemouth with 5 defenders and Chilwell as a left wing, well, you're bringing it on yourself, brother. You're bringing it to yourself. You don't play with 2 attackers against Bournemouth, Nicholas Jackson and Sterling? You're bringing it to yourself. We spend all that money for us to play with 5 defenders. And that's the issue. That's the issue. For me, that is the issue. You're telling me, with the level of squad that we have, we're not good enough to beat West Ham? No disrespect to West Ham. West Ham's quality team, man. I've watched West Ham play. But you're telling me we're not good enough to beat them? 100% we're good enough to beat them. You're telling me we're not good enough to beat Nottingham Forest at Stamford Bridge? 100% we're good enough to beat them. 100%. And then the poll will have recency effect. Guarantee the same poll before the season started or even the Liverpool game would have been at least 90% yes. Let's have a look. There's still 62% yes after 85 votes. Keep voting, everyone. Keep voting. We've got nearly 400 people live right now. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time as well, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe and keep voting. I want to see where this goes. I want to have as many votes as possible. Let me know if you truly think the squad's not good. If you truly think the squad's the issue, the squad's not the issue. Squad's not the issue. I'm sorry. Squad's not the issue. Muradul, good to see you, my man. Bro, how can we get the best experienced players if we can't provide them Champions League? Nowadays, most experienced players want Champions League football. Look, I used to think that way as well, but it's not like we're never going to get Champions League football. Like, these players, it does come down to money factor as well. And it seems like we can pay the money. And it also comes down to where the future of the club's going. And if you look at the way some of the players are talking about us, they like the project, they see the quality and the talented players. Like, as if you wouldn't want to play with Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo in the team. As if you wouldn't want to play with them. It shouldn't be difficult to entice players to play for Chelsea. As I said, London, very, very, lucrative location where the club is situated. You look at the training facilities. You look at the, even though the stadium's small in size, but it's full. Like, players shouldn't just think about now. They should think about where it can go. So I don't think it should be a problem for us to lure experienced players. It really shouldn't. Creed. Is that Matisse's picture? Creed, brother, what are you doing with that picture of Matisse, man? Bang on, Miz. I don't care how much experience there is. The team is still full of talent. If the talent we have can't make top 8, then is that talent really all that? Now, look, if the talent cannot make top 8, I think questions need to be asked on the manager. Because far less talented teams are getting better results in the Premier League. Why? There's an interesting video from Football Meta comparing us with Man City on how we attack low blocks. Yeah, I'll check that out. A lot of people have been telling me about this, so I'll check that out. John, it seems Pochettino does not trust young forwards. Well, he's going to have to trust. He's going to have to. Teams like Liverpool, Newcastle, though, are high level. Now most of the players are trying to reach their potential rather than scale the heights. Even Brighton, smarter, didn't get Evan Ferguson. Criminal. Yeah. Squad is good enough. Tactics are questionable. The only issue I have with the window was not enough experience brought in. I fully agree with this. Squad is good enough. Tactics are questionable. We could have got a few more experienced players. Of course. Of course. We could have. We 100% could have. MIZ, you're going to do predictions video. Which predictions are you talking about, Tariq? Let me know. Premier League prediction, that's gone, man. I hate doing prediction videos anyway. I might do a Champions League prediction video. We'll see. MIZ, I generally think that the worst possible player for us to get an injury for this season was Nkunku, but it's still not an excuse. Yeah, look, I know Nkunku's a huge miss, but if Poch's plan was only around Nkunku, then that's mad. That's actually mad. Like you're a well-esteemed manager. You should have a plan that is beyond just Nkunku. So, you know, injuries happen, and we've been cursed with a lot of injuries, of course. But you have to find a way to operate without those players. We have players to operate without those players. We do. Why haven't we been using at least Ian Martin? Well, I've not been. You know, he's shown that he's got quality in attack. Why haven't we been using him at a bare minimum? Okay, fine. You don't have the trust in Mudryk. You don't have the trust in Madueke. Why haven't we at least been trying Maatsen? Ian Maatsen's been available. Now, okay, fine. The first 4 games, you had an excuse, right? Nkunku was injured. No problems. Now what's going to be the excuse with Cole Palmer in the team? Now you got Cole Palmer. Now what's going to be the excuse? Do we have any more excuse? No Nkunku? You got yourself Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is a very good player as well. Maybe not in the same level of Nkunku, but Cole Palmer's got an eye for a pass. He's got an eye for key passes. He's got a eye for scoring goals. What excuses do you have now? Honestly, as a football club, what excuses do we have? If we drop points against Bournemouth, like as if we've already not been able to show our face off the back of that loss against Nottingham Forest and also that loss against West Ham. We drop points against Bournemouth. We need to shut ourselves down. There's no more excuse. Absolutely no more excuse. We've got the resources. As the other brother said a moment ago in the comments, tactics are questionable. Tactics are 100% questionable. Haj, we say the squad is not the issue, but we all have doubts on Jackson, Mudryk, Madueke to score. People try and make these players better, then they are not make themselves feel better on spending 1 billion. Now, look, obviously during the game, you want to see more opportunities being created. I think why the fan base gets a bit mad is that we get that one clear-cut opportunity and we miss. Now, we should be trying to create 2, 3, 4, 5 clear-cut chances per game. We should. We need to be quicker. Against low blocks, we are so slow in moving the ball. We've got to move the ball quicker. We've got to have more players inside the box. We've got to have more creative freedom. And now we got Cole Palmer. He's a creative player. Now we've got Cole Palmer. As I said, even Ian Martin for in the preseason, putting in those through balls for Nicholas Jackson, where Nicholas Jackson says, "Trust me, bro. Trust me more." It ain't going to happen if we play with 5 defenders. We're not going to be able to break down a low block with 5 defenders. I'll tell you that straight up. It ain't going to happen with Chilwell playing left wing. Fred CFC fan, the truth that no one is talking about is that none of these signings were actually Poch's signings. Yeah, look. And the fan base is pretending these were his signings and Poch is stubborn. Look, I hate this. I'm sorry, Fred CFC fan. I'm not having a guy at you, but I'm just saying, I see a lot of people talk like this. Oh, but these are not his signings. What are we meant to do now? Every manager that come in, we're meant to just give. Do you understand, Fred? We've signed up players for 8-9 years. Do you think Pochettino is going to stay with us for 8-9 years? Probably not. There's probably question marks if he's going to last even this season. What's going to happen then? The next manager that comes in, oh, but these are not the players that that XYZ manager wanted. These were previous managers. We've signed the players for 8-9 years, man. This is a lame excuse. Oh, these are not his players. Nah, you got to do what you have available to you. And these players are not rubbish. No manager is going to be able to come in and just buy a squad, a brand new squad. No manager is going to get that. Martin was our best player in preseason, but you are going to hear excuses to why they don't want to play him. That's all. Yeah, it's strange. Martin was scoring goals, assisting, and then all of a sudden he's blocked out. Poch slandering starting already. Sometimes I feel we aren't Chelsea fans, rather we are rival supporters. When will the fan base ever support the team in tough times? Brother Abba, it's always been tough times since the new ownership has taken over. It's like it's always been tough times. And I don't think it's about people not supporting Poch. I think most are still supporting Poch, but I think every fan has the right to question his tactics and question the personnel he's using. You know, we don't need blind faith. You know, you question your close ones as well. You'll question your parents, you'll question your brother, you'll question your sister, you'll question your kids, you'll question your wife if they're doing something stupid. Just because, let's say, they're blood related, oh no, you're blood related, do whatever you want. And you'll question them too if you see something dumb. I think that's what it comes down to here. We are seeing something dumb, so we need to ask the right questions. But that doesn't mean that, oh, now, you know, I want to break up with my parents. I want to get a divorce with my wife. I want to disown my kids. No. You still back them. You still support them. You still love them. But you have the right to ask questions. You're making a mistake. So you need to support and asking questions, two different things. Do you know what I mean? Rhythm. Enzo Fernandez to Barca is written in stars in a few years if things don't improve. Gundogan replacement? Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. Well, Enzo Fernandez ain't going to stick around at Chelsea Football Club if we're not winning stuff. Same with all the other players. Do you know what I mean? You look at some of the players that Arsenal used to have. They didn't stick around because Arsenal weren't winning anything. Robin Van Persie, Cesc Fabregas, many more. They didn't stick around. Arsenal weren't winning anything. Same thing will happen to us if we don't win anything. Poch got to show more balls. He's done the talking in the press conference. Win, win, win. We got to see that on the pitch and the lineup. Two attackers against the likes of Nottingham Forest, Luton, and West Ham is poor. Yeah, and it cannot be the same way against Bournemouth. It just cannot be. Our biggest issue, according to me, isn't the fact that Chilwell is playing on left wing. Can the medical staff issue the fans with a statement on what the F is going on with our players and injuries? Yeah, look, I remember before the start of this season, the owners and the board said that they were gonna do an investigation and they were gonna see what is the root cause of players at Chelsea Football Club getting injured so often. I hope they do that root cause analysis because it needs to be done. We need to get to the bottom of this, you know, bad run of injuries that's been going on for about 2, 3, 4 seasons. We have to get to the bottom of this. Most of us want Poch to succeed, but his team selection is seriously telling me he may be a coward. I hope I'm wrong, but you can't be saying you want to win yesterday, today, but play 5 CBs. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. All right, we're going to slowly wrap things up. Smash the like button, guys. Get those likes up. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe as well. Pepita. Off topic, Miz, I would drop Sanchez for Petrovic. He hasn't really impressed me in the past games. What do you think? I think that's premature still, though. I hear what you're saying, that he hasn't impressed. Of course, he hasn't impressed me either. But to then just throw Petrovic in, like, yeah, there needs to be some sort of a process. Let's give Petrovic the cup game against Brighton, see how he goes. And if he does well, then he'll have a good case to start in the Premier League. Haj, both are true, Miz. I doubt the system, but I also really do doubt this squad due to age and ability. Think people just can't accept that we spent 1 billion poorly, so they fall into 100% blame the coach as default. Look, tell me, okay, Haj, tell me one player, the 1 billion that we spent, tell me one player that you were against, or you think, nah, they're not good enough. They're rubbish. Tell me one player. And not looking at it from a hindsight point of view. It's very easy to look at it from a hindsight and say, oh, Mudryk is not good, or Mudryk. Tell me from the get-go, when we were linked, from the get-go, which particular player that you were saying, nah, man, that's rubbish. Honestly, I can't think of a single player that I said was rubbish. Okay, Mudryk, I didn't know much about. That's a different story. Mudryk probably as well, I didn't know too much about. But Nicholas Jackson, when I did a little bit of research, I was like, you know what? He might not be a bad player. Generally, these 35 million players actually work out. Caicedo. You know how highly I thought about Caicedo. Malo Gusto. Top talent from Lyon. Nkunku. Top talent from Leipzig. Levi Colwill was our player, no problems. Wesley Fofana, even though I wasn't advocating for Wesley Fofana last summer, but there was no doubt that Wesley Fofana was he was potentially going to become one of the up and coming centre backs. Cucurella, I was so ecstatic when we got Cucurella, absolutely ecstatic. So it's very easy to sit now and say the 1 billion was spent poorly. Very easy. Someone saying Lavia. No, you're lying to yourself if you're saying Lavia. We all know how excited we were for Lavia. We all know. Easy, Mudryk. I was bashing him on Twitter. He had not played 50 games and was going on for 100 million. Okay, no problems. One player you mentioned. One player. And some of the players that, in the likes of, say, Koulibaly, we've been able to sell them. We've been able to sell them. And somewhat balance the, books in terms of their value. Madueke, Mudryk, Desasi, Sanchez, I honestly never wanted this. Isn't hindsight. Also, youngsters may be good individually, but a collection of youngsters all under pressure at once is crazy too. Okay, you might not like Desasi, but there's a lot of people that like Desasi. A lot. I wasn't in favor of him. I wanted to keep Chalobah. I understand the financial needs for it. I get that. But there's a lot that rate Desasi. A lot that rate Desasi more than Chalobah. Many. I get insulted and abused on a regular basis because I said Desasi is probably in the same level of Chalobah. But there's a lot of people that rate Desasi. There's a lot of people that rated Mudryk, brother Haj. A lot of people rated Mudryk. No problems, you didn't. No problems, you didn't. A lot of people rated Mudryk. Sanchez, okay. I think predominantly people don't rate Sanchez, but people didn't rate Kepa either. I wanted Onana. Onana went to Man United, and now people are laughing at Onana. The first one I wanted was Mike Maignan, but he wasn't coming to Chelsea Football Club. He didn't want to leave AC Milan. And AC Milan was only going to entertain Mike Maignan at £80 million. So you got to weigh it all up, man. You got to weigh it all up. Have to weigh it all up. I personally feel the managers have a lot to play in this. The managers have a lot to play in this. Okay, I do agree with one thing from you, Haj, is maybe the combination of a lot of young players, that's probably not ideal. I do agree with that. But some of the players that we've got for that 1 billion, very few are poor players, if any. If any, to be honest. It's normal for the best strikers to top the big chances missed as they have the most shots normally. Fair enough. Sanchez was supposed to be our number 2. Dessas isn't that good, but he's better than Chalobah. People forget Chalobah mistakes. A concern to me is the manager not playing the players in the system that suits their strengths. He's doing his style, but should be about the group more. Yeah. Harad, good to see you, my man. Mudryk has the talent, need time, but Mudryk doesn't have anything. He's average player. Let's see. Yeah, both of them have a lot to prove. Haj, that's fair, Miz, but just my perspective, and I was called a conspiracy theorist when I said Mudryk was political signing. There is just too many unknowns combined all at once for me to have. No, I get it, man. All right. Last but not least, we'll take this comment. Do you think in hindsight, half of that 1 billion could be spent on experience, half on toppings? Yeah, of course. Yeah, we could have done that. We could have got a few more experienced players, of course. But I still remain true to the point that squad is still good enough to get Champions League spot. I'm sorry. It's still good enough. All right, we're going to end things. We're going to end the poll. Nearly 200 people voted. And after that, 62% have said that the squad is good enough for the Champions League position. So it's the majority thinks the squad is good enough. So it's now up to the manager. So yeah, all right. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification, ladies and gentlemen. And make sure you 100% subscribe. I shall see you guys for a live tomorrow. Matisse is coming on tomorrow. So 10 a.m. UK time. I'll set up the page very soon. Matisse will be in the house. So do look out for that, and a whole heap of content is going to be flying around. So yeah, until next time, everyone, take care. See ya.